But were you expecting to come back quicker, longer?
No.
I don't know why there's delusion then. A bit too high trying to figure that one out. Present is betrayal. That could be you betraying yourself about something, whether you're not like actually listening to what your body's really wanting right now. Maybe it is more rest. Maybe you want to do a little bit more in the last little bit before you leave or something like that. So focus on making sure that you're following what your heart's desiring the whole way, because you don't want to go back home with regrets. That's the biggest thing for you, especially in the last leg of it, because when you get back there'll be like something that'll come to your head. Your future is contentment, which is good, because that means you've had a good adventure, which means you have a lot of memories and a lot of wisdom growing from that time, which you can look back on for the rest of your life. You're aware of wholeness, so you've obviously been very successful at achieving that whilst travelling and taking the best out of every situation. What?
The checkouts, past checkout, and my bags and shit still in there.
Fuck.
Yeah, oopsie daisy.
Yeah, go sort that out. Yeah. That's why I went and sorted that before.
Yeah.
Contentment. You're aware of the wholeness. You're unaware of presence. So maybe you need to try in the last bit. I think it's telling you that you need to try and make sure you're as present as possible. Mm-hmm. So try not to make it that you're losing track of the fact of, like, maybe, like, you know, planning ahead and stuff like that. You sometimes, like, you're focusing on, like, the long end of it, but as to the little pretty sceneries along the way, they're, like, your last little glimpses of this travel. So don't kind of really make sure that you keep that there and be aware. What you're wanting is beginning, so you still, like, I don't think you're ready to finish the traveling. I think you want to try and start something new kind of when you get back, maybe. Like, have a whole new adventure or maybe a new perspective of life when you get back, and just new way. The only thing that's stopping you is the change, so it will be hard for you. Like, you should be prepared that when you get home, going back to your old self will feel really easy, and slipping into your old, like, habits and lifestyle. What to do about that is being analytical, so maybe that comes down to certain people in your life you might need to distance yourself from, just to help yourself, like, get into your stronger, like, keep the wholeness in you instead of going back to old ways. Your outcome is knowledge, so I think this is you pretty much learning to take care of yourself in a more healthier manner after travelling, because you've experienced a lot more and seen a lot more. So, like, that's where I'm seeing it. But what was your question?
That's crazy, because my question was, what, in conclusion, am I going to get to, like, at the end of this trip? Like, what am I going to...
Yeah, well, the burn card says rest. So time for healing and mending wounds. So, like, party wounds, like, everything, just full body exhaustion. So I think, I'm getting better at my card reading. I'm loving it. These decks read to me a lot better than
If I had a question, it would have been
the same kind of thing.
What you're going to do when you get back home was your question?
No, like, kind of what am I going to, like, conclude this trip?
With
like,
this trip.
How is it going to finish, kind of thing.
Like, how am I going to, like, I guess, sum it up in my
okay.
what I learned, I guess.
And that's why, like,
Just
this
the
one here
experience.
is, like, the biggest one that...
Okay. I understand. Which I didn't have... I already had kind of an answer to that question, but...
It's like, how am I going to internalize this experience?
Process it in your personal self as, like, for, like, a future memory is, like, always having that in the back of your head. You want to have it in a good way, not in a bad way.
Yeah, that is kind of my question. Like, I kind of know what to make of this trip, but once I get back home, how to apply it to my life.
Yeah, and that's where, like, this is kind of, like, the same as him. Like, he's wanting beginnings, like, something new, fresh starts. Because even if you're going back to your old home or, like, old areas, it doesn't mean you have to go back to that. You can start something completely different. That's what I'm hoping to. When I get back to Australia, I'm going to be hopefully finishing the last bit of my shamanic training and being a full shaman.
Yeah, we're all going through changes, and that's why we're here.
What kind of shaman training?
Celtic shaman.
Celtic shaman.
So it was the most common one for females to be able to be a shaman with. Like,
does that have more, like, pagan roots?
Yeah. And a bit more on, like, astrology and, like, just more like just the simple, like, Wiccan kind of work, really. Like, we don't do potions or anything like that. But we do, like, enchantments and, like, drumming circles and meditations.
I think